Hey guys and dolls out there in YouTube land. So the question of the day, what is keto? This is the most simple explanation I can come up with of the keto diet, which is what I follow. And right now I'm on my 4th month, 16th week altogether. I've lost 48.2 pounds and like 77 inches, almost 78 inches. So I'm not an expert on it by no means, but I'm doing pretty well at it. So I thought I'd tell you what keto is to me, and hopefully that'll help you. And I don't want to get too technical. There's plenty of videos here on YouTube with the scientific explanations, the right and wrongs, the chemicals in foods and stuff like that that you need to know about. And some of the foods that I'm going to tell you about are not necessarily the very best foods for you as far as the chemicals in them go, but I'm going to leave that up to you as to what you want to put in your body or not. So first of all, keto is a high-fat, moderate-protein, low-carbohydrate diet. If you're confused about that, you can look on every food label on every food you eat. The first thing you want to notice, though, is the serving size. Serving size is very important. And it tells you what the serving size is in grams. And on this particular package, a serving size is a fourth of a package, and that weighs 8 grams. So if you get you a little scale that weighs in grams, like a kitchen counter scale, you can always tell how many servings exactly you're having. Weigh your plate first, though, so you know how much your plate weighs. Or put your plate on top first, hit the button, and that'll zero the plate out, and then you can put your servings on your plate and find out that way. Alright, so what you really want to pay attention to on your foods is your fat, your carbohydrate, and your protein. Now, this is not a good example. I used this one because the label was kind of larger. But this has 6 grams of carbohydrates in it for a fourth of a packet. So that's not really good. But on occasion, if you're low on your carbs that day, you can have a serving of sugar-free Jell-O, if you want to. But anyway, you want to keep your carbohydrates below 20 grams a day if you can. Now, in your first week, it's a learning curve. You might just barely be lower than you usually are. My first week, I was still kind of high in carbs. I was doing okay with the high fat and the protein, but my carbs were a little bit high. And over the week or so, I learned how to do that. But I did start dropping weight instantly just by lowering the carb count, period. So that was extremely helpful. But again, what you want to look for on here is the fat content, the carbohydrate content, and the protein. You want to, if you can find it, you want fat higher than protein, and both much higher than the carb. So this one, obviously, not a good example. But if you look at like Johnsonville Better with Cheddar sausages, on the back, it's like 200 calories for one link. 18 grams of fat, 9 grams of protein, and 2 grams of carbs. So one of those, great. And I eat 2 of those in the morning for breakfast, and that's all I eat until later in the day. So it's awesome. Now with keto, when you first start out, your first week is going to be a really interesting week. Right away when you start keto, your body starts to expel more fluids, so you'll start peeing more often. And that's okay. That's what you're supposed to do. And your first bit of weight that you drop is water weight. So if you drop 10 pounds in 1 week, it's just water, but you can still get excited because as long as you keep going with keto, the water weight stays off. It also helps automatically with inflammation, being sore in certain areas, swelling, bloating. A lot of that will go away just about instantly. It's so remarkable, to be honest with you. Now, you might have heard of something called the keto flu. It's not really a flu, it's an electrolyte imbalance, because when you start peeing a whole lot, you're going to pee out your electrolytes, which are your potassium, magnesium, and sodium. Now, I love Powerade Zero. Definitely a great electrolyte drink. You can have it on keto. Again, the chemicals might not be good for everybody that everybody wants, but for me, it's fine. It works out great. Or you can go the supplement route with potassium and magnesium, which I do usually sometimes, but only if I feel achy or painy, or if like there's a cramp in the back of my leg or something of that nature. Or also magnesium is good for sleeping, and they're good for a lot of things. But you can also get your potassium, magnesium, and sodium from your foods. And if you're not having any flu-like symptoms, you're doing good. Or you're drinking this, you're doing good. I personally like the Powerade Zero, but I like the way they taste. So, if you don't, you don't. And that's all right. So that's all you got to worry about with the first week. And also you'll be a little kind of lethargic. Not completely down in the dumps, but when you first start keto, your body's readjusting. It's trying to burn off all the excess sugar that you did have in your body push that away, and then switch over to burning fats. Once your body switches over to burning fats and you're eating plenty of fats, then you're good to go. You'll start feeling a higher energy level. Now, you won't be hyper bouncing off the walls. You'll just have a slow, a steady level of energy where you're just not tired, you're not sleepy. For me, I had sleep apnea. Like sleep apnea, and I was tired all the time. I was falling asleep at the wheel. I would fall asleep right here. That went away instantly, just about within the first couple days, but it was even better about a week later. I had no more of that tiredness, the tired spells, falling asleep everywhere. That went away. So I think sleep apnea went away, quite honestly, but I'm not sure. I think it's gone now, but again, I'm almost 50 pounds down. I'm 48.2 pounds. So, 50 pounds down, and yeah, I think the sleep apnea has went away for the most part anyway. I have to ask my husband how loud I'm snoring, to be honest. The next thing you need to know about is get you a good scale. Make sure it's for your size. I know that some people are up in their 400 and 500 pounds. Make sure your scale is for your weight size. If you get a scale that's only good for 300 pounds, you weigh 315, that scale's probably not going to give you your accurate read. Then don't freak out about what the scale says. A lot of people derail themselves and their diets because they freak out about what the scale says or the scale changes. Learn about the scale, how to weigh yourself, and how scales read throughout the day. Your best weight is first thing in the morning after you use the bathroom. It's better if you wear either the same outfit every time or something similar, or you just get on there naked. So that's up to you. I just wear tank top and shorts when I weigh, and they're very similar to make every time. So that's easier. But I do get on throughout the day with whatever I'm wearing, keeping in mind that my clothes weigh more, that all throughout the day I'm gaining water weight. If you get on in the morning and your scale says 120, and in the evening it says 125, you did not gain 5 pounds of fat, okay? You are withholding 5 pounds of water weight. It takes 3,500 calories to gain a pound of fat. So 3,500 excess calories, which means more than your body's burning off a day. If you can burn off 2,500 calories a day, well, let's say 2,000 calories a day, then you would literally have to consume 5,500 calories to gain a pound of fat. So usually it's not a pound of fat, especially if you're on keto. Just watch your calories. They do count, just not as majorly, because after the first week of keto, you're going to come into ketosis. Your body's going to be burning fat instead of sugar. Fat lasts longer. It's a more prolonged energy burner. So you can burn fat all day, every day. You don't even need carbohydrates really, but they're in vegetables, and vegetables are definitely recommended for keto, just not starchy vegetables like potatoes and carrots. You don't want to do fruits either, because fruits are fructose, which is a sugar. It is a natural sugar, but it's still sugar, and the goal of this is to keep your sugar and your insulin levels down. And if you do that, and you do it well, you can even kick type 2 diabetes right in the tail. I don't even have it anymore. 4 months, I don't have type 2 diabetes anymore. My blood pressure is regulating itself. It's coming down. It's always been pretty high. Even with my pills, it's been like a normal level with the pills, and now it's down well below normal. So I'm keeping an eye on that to make sure my blood pressure doesn't drop too low. And if you're doing keto and you're diabetic, you have high blood pressure or other things that make you take medications, keep an eye on your readings, because you don't want to drop so low with your sugar that the pill is a problem. If it becomes one, if you see your sugars are getting too low, go ahead and contact your doctor to get you off of a pill or two, or all of them. But keep an eye on your readings. Those are very important things with the keto diet. Again, that scale, that's an important thing too. Knowing that you did not gain a pound of weight, a pound of fat in 2 hours. But there are hundreds of things that can make you withhold water weight. Ladies' symptoms, drinking too much fluids, certain things you eat, the time of day, how much activity you've had, all of those things, all of them can cause you to retain water weight. Working out, when you tear down your muscles withhold water while they're repairing themselves. So you can withhold a lot of water weight throughout the day, every day. Sorry about the background. That's my kid. He's getting his stuff prepared over there. What is that? Oh, you already broke your headset? And it just fell apart. Sorry about that. Got a little sidetracked. It's all good. So yeah, okay, the keto diet. Now, brass tacks and the basics of it is you want to eat 75% of your calories in fat, 20% of your calories in protein, 5% of your calories in carbohydrates. Now, the fat and protein ratio varies per person. I'm going to link a keto calculator that I use below. You might be able to find another one on Google. I don't know. This is the one I use. And you'll put in your height, weight, age, and your activity level. And it'll give you the ratios you need. And it'll give you 3 different ratios. 4. One is to maintain. One is moderate weight loss. One is the next level. And the other one is like rapid weight loss. Now, keto is rapid weight loss pretty much all by itself anyway. Your first weight loss will be a jump. It'll be, like I said, a flushing of water weight probably for about the first month to 2 weeks, 2 weeks to a month. And after that, you'll lose anywhere between 2 and 5 pounds a week. And it varies per person. Some weeks I only lose 2, some weeks I lose 6, some weeks I lose 1. But a loss is a loss, and I'm good with it. One thing I will tell you before you start any diet, take good photos of yourself, front, back, sideways, all of them. This will help you on your journey, because some weeks the scale will not move, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. But even when the scale's not moving, measure every week. Every week I have been surprised by my measurements. Now, I do mine differently. Some people just do boobs, waist, hips. I do my neck, I do around my head, around my cheeks, because I want to know. I do around the top, my upper arms, my forearms, my wrist, my breasts, my bust line, which is right up underneath the boobs, where your bra would go around. If you're a man, you don't have to do all that. It's up to you. But your waist, your hips, I do a thigh, a calf, and an ankle, and I do this every week. And I write them down, I keep them in a little notebook. It doesn't look like this, but this, does do that. The next, other than measuring, you're going to want to keep up with your weight loss, or not just your weight loss, your food every day. You don't have to do this. I do recommend it, especially when you're first getting started, so you can see if there's a problem. Okay, well, I'm eating too many carbs, or I'm eating too much fat, whatever, or I'm eating too many calories. So at least this way you'll know. Now, you don't have to use a notebook. Notebook's just a standard idea for folks that don't want to use the internet. But I use personally my FitnessPal. I love that site. I can log my weights as they go, my goals. I can log everything in there, and it even has like a kind of like a Facebook kind of deal where you can share with friends. You can like posts. You can make posts. I don't think you can do photos. You can do like a main photo or on your profile photos and all that. Anyway, I use my FitnessPal. There's also a place called Lose It. I'm sure there's a bunch of others. That's completely up to you. And now working out. A lot of people, it's really hard to work out every day. And once you miss a day, you're like, well, screw it, I failed now. No, you did not fail. And with keto, the best thing about it, I've lost all this weight without working out. The first month before I started keto, I worked out every day for a whole month. And I watched what I ate. I watched what I ate, and I was careful. I didn't know anything about carbs or protein or fat. I was just eating like lean cuts of meat, which turned out to be the bad idea. Yeah, you're going to want to throw the food pyramid out the window for keto completely, but it works, and I swear it does, and it works and gets rid of so many diseases. So I'm so thrilled with it, and I love it, and I just hope everybody tries it. If you have a weight problem and diabetes and high blood pressure and heart disease, because it has really helped me. But again, throw the food pyramid out the window. Exercise, that's completely up to you. I like to exercise, I really do, but I've lost so much weight by not doing it right now that I'm not trying to mess with anything, because like I said, water weight when you work out. But at some point I will add working out back into my routine. Right now I just don't want to jinx it, maybe, I don't know. But if you want to work out, just be mindful that the more water you drink, the more stuff you consume. Also, the more you work out, the more calories you need to consume. And with keto, over time, you won't need to consume that many calories, and you won't be hungry that much. Fat and protein satiate you for a very long time, much, much better than carbohydrates, sugar. Now, the basics to this, and this is the easiest way for me to do it, and not every food fits the rule. But in general, You're going to concentrate mostly on eating meats, including fish, chicken, beef, pretty much any meat. I don't think there's a meat that's really off the table. If there is, please comment below. That's fine. But all the meat I've eaten has been very low carb or zero carb. Cheese. And some people can and cannot have cheese. Just depends on you. I love cheese in my salads. Green leafy vegetables, lettuce, kale, that kind of thing, whatever you want. Celery. It's a little bit carby, but put it in your Fitness Pal and you'll see what all you can eat in a day. So we have meats, veggies, cheese, eggs. You can eat pretty much all the eggs you want till you're full. Coconut oil and butter. Wonderful things to cook in. Well, especially the coconut oil. The butter has a low smoke point, but there are many oils you can cook with, and I'm gonna put a list of foods down below that might help you out a lot. And of course, it's not every keto food. It's the keto foods I use most of the time. All right. That's mostly what you're going to concentrate on. So the foods you're going to concentrate on eating: meat, eggs, butters and oils, cheese, and vegetables. That's your main concentration. What you're going to want to steer away from as hard as you can: pasta, bread, wheat, sugar. You steer away from these. These are very high in carbohydrates. They often add calories where calories are not needed. If you can eat meat and get full, you don't need the bun to get full. You can also eat out on keto. You just have to watch what you eat. Order a double cheeseburger from McDonald's. Throw that bread right onto the birds or to your dog or whatever. Or order it without the bun. Hardee's, you can order low carb food at Hardee's, and they just give you a burger wrapped in lettuce, which is good. It's honestly good. So, you don't want to mess with any breading, like chicken breading, like you get it crispy at KFC or you can have chicken skin, but not with the flour breading on it. So if you fry up your chicken at home, you can leave that skin right there on there. In fact, it's good and fatty, so it's good for you. Well, I have to go, but that's my simple explanation of keto. I'm sure there's stuff I've left out, but that's the simplest form I can put it in. Enjoy. Good luck. Please post below if you're going to put your journey here on YouTube. I'll be glad to watch you. Again, like, subscribe, share if you want to. That's fully up to you. And, of course, you can look up all kinds of videos here.
Subscribing is not up to you. You do that now.
That's my son who's doing keto too, by the way. He lost 30 pounds. Much love to you. See y'all soon.